Have you guys ever backed into a campsite with your RV and then realized your slides didn't go all the way out because you ran into a tree or the pedestal or something along those lines? Today I'm going to show you a quick tip on how to prevent that from happening. I haven't actually done this yet myself. I've sort of just guessed and gotten pretty lucky. But today I'm going to actually be making a measuring stick for my slides. And that way I can walk out by my RV and use the stick to measure the distance between where my slide would come out and whatever it is I'm trying to avoid. If you guys stick around to the end of the video, you'll actually get to see I got to use this stick when we moved campsites, and it worked exactly as intended. All you're going to need for this is a broom handle or like a painter's rod like this, some tape, a Sharpie, and something to cut the rod if you want to. You actually don't have to cut the rod, but I'm going to make it a little bit more compact. So step one, you want to go over to your biggest slide. All right, so the first thing you need to do is you need to take your wooden rod, your dowel, your broom handle, whatever you want to call it, take the end that you don't want to cut off. So I'm going to cut off the little screw end here, put it up against your RV, come all the way out to the farthest point on your slide. So for me, it's this awning, which is, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches past my slide. And I'm going to put a small mark right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut the dowel rod right there, and then that'll be the exact length of the largest slide out that I have. So this definitely is not the right tool for the job, but I don't have my whole workshop here at the RV. Now that we live in it, I can't really carry that with me, so we're gonna make this work. All right, so now I have the rod cut out to the length of my longest slide. So now I know if I can fit this in between my RV and whatever it is that I'm pulling up against. If it fits, that means my slide will slide out fully. So now let's head to the other side of the RV and I'll show you what to do to make markings along this post for the lengths of your other slides. All right, so now for our shortest slide out. Basically what I'm gonna do is kind of the same thing, except I'm just going to make the mark and label it. And apparently right all over my finger in the process. All right, so I've made my mark. Let's go ahead and move on to our next slide. All right, made that mark, and let's go ahead and move on to our last slide. All right, we've got our 3 marks. Let's go ahead and head back to the picnic table. All right, so that's our first mark, and I'm gonna go ahead and label it. master. Alright, so now that my little stick is made, let's check my work to make sure I taped it in the right spot. So, that looks good for the dining room. Master slide room. Perfect. So I gave myself a little extra space just in case. I mean, I don't want my slides rubbing directly up against something. So I gave myself just a hair extra on the markings. Kitchen looks good. And then the kids' bedroom looks good. Hope you guys like that quick little video with a fun little tip on it. I'll test this out, see how it works, but I mean, let's be honest, it's a stick with some marks on it. It beats breaking out a measuring tape or guessing and being wrong. So hope you guys enjoy it. So this is a perfect example of where this would come in handy. So my slide out, it comes right up to this water spigot. So yeah, I'm still gonna back up the RV a little bit more, but we should be good in just
a hair. Barely good.
Yep. If you guys like this video about my little doohickey here, please consider liking, giving us that thumbs up, commenting, subscribing. All that stuff really helps us out. If you hated it, that's cool too. Just don't hit the thumbs down button.